With grocery prices the way that they are, we've become very intentional about how we feed our family. Buying in bulk, shopping seasonally, and keeping meals simple so we're not constantly running back to the grocery store. Over time, we've learned that the biggest savings don't come from cutting corners. They come from shopping intentionally and planning ahead. In our family, we are very invested in cooking high-quality meals from scratch at home. And for us, that looks a lot like buying in bulk where it makes sense and choosing quality ingredients we'll actually use and building meals around what we already have at home. We buy a lot of our staples here at Costco because the price per unit stays consistent. And even though you pay a little bit more upfront, you get a better price overall and your ingredients can stretch a lot longer. We live in a pretty small town, about 40 minutes or so from any large grocery store, so we typically make our grocery runs about once every 2 weeks. I like to load up on a lot of our pantry staples and fresh produce, and I found that stretching our groceries 2 weeks apart helps save a lot of money and time in the long run. As far as meat, we buy a half a cow from a local farmer about every 9 to 12 months or so we are fully stocked pretty much at all times at home with a freezer full of beef. But I like to pick up chicken and any kind of pork product from Costco because their prices and their quality are really better than anywhere else. We also buy mainly organic, and I know that is pricier, but I will say, when you invest a little bit more in quality products, it makes you a lot more conscious of what you are buying, which I have found has led to less food waste for us over time, which is very important to us. I make a lot of our snacks and things that our kids eat from scratch, but I do love a good high quality granola, and this Purely Elizabeth brand is delicious. But when you go, I always recommend checking the end caps because here they have a different flavor that was on sale, which I picked up instead. Since we do so much cooking at home, you really cannot beat the prices of spices at Costco. This giant thing of organic cinnamon was $4.99, and you would pay probably double that price for half the size at any other grocery store. And all of these King Arthur brand flours are such great quality, and I use them regularly to make my homemade sourdough. And one of these bags probably makes 10 to 12 loaves of bread, I would say. So it really stretches a long way. One of our favorite meals recently is a high-protein homemade hamburger helper, I guess you would call it. So when we get home, I am going to whip that up for dinner and use these bonza noodles in that dish. While we do the majority of our shopping at Costco, Aldi does fill in the gaps for us for fresh produce, pantry basics, and things that we don't necessarily need in bulk. And one of my favorite things to do for Aldi is to do a grocery pickup. I don't know about any of you guys, but whenever I go in Aldi, I always end up coming out with more than I intended to. So by doing a grocery pickup, I avoid that whole aisle of shame and all the extra things that I know I don't need, and just do the grocery pickup for the things I know that we need, and I feel like that saves a lot of money for us. Since we only grocery shop once every 2 weeks, I like to split up my meals in 2 different categories. The first week, I like to use up all of the fresh ingredients that we bought. That way, nothing goes to waste, and we can experiment with some more fun recipes and seasonal flavors. And the second week, I like to cook from my pantry and my freezer. That way I know all the things that we have bought are getting used, nothing is getting expired, and it just adds diversity to our meal plan overall. As I mentioned earlier, one of our favorite meals right now is this high-protein homemade hamburger helper, I guess you would call it. I pulled some of our ground beef out of the freezer and I'm just sauteing that in some olive oil and diced onion, and then adding in some canned tomatoes, shredded cheese, chicken broth, and cottage cheese for the extra protein. Once the meat mixture is all cooked and coming together, I'm just topping it off with a little bit of chicken broth to thin it out and make it so it'll stretch over the noodles that I'm about to add next. Typically, I like to make my own homemade pasta because a couple years ago, my dad got me a pasta machine for Christmas and I love it. But I will say, it's really good to have a high quality boxed pasta on hand. Just in the event of those busy nights, you can whip something together and you don't run out to a fast food restaurant or something else and spend more money. This kind of shopping has really helped us keep things simple at home. Fewer trips to the store, less waste, and meals that feel nourishing without overthinking them. I hope that this gives you a little bit of encouragement today. And as always, thank you so much for spending some time with me. I'd love to have you subscribe and stay for more homemaking, slow living, and the practical side of motherhood.